So hey, hello everyone, and I welcome you all to APJ Academy, where we are nurturing the young minds to become doctor and engineers just like our previous students. So in today's class, I'll be taking very few minutes for discussing the concepts of dimensions and errors, and after that I'll be discussing the questions from the previous year. So this lecture will going to be very beneficial for the students who are preparing for JEE Mains and they want to give JEE Mains this time, or even for those who wants to give this JEE Mains at the next time. Okay, so let's begin our journey. These are the topics which I'll be covering in this video for you. So basics of measurement, I'll be teaching you that how we are going to measure different scenarios. Then we will be discussing the fundamental quantities. So as per our SI system, we have 7 fundamental quantities, and all the measurement whichever we are doing, we will be thinking in terms of these 7 fundamental quantities only. So you have to know that these are most fundamental things, and you can't imagine your rank if you do not know these things. Because in many questions, whenever we are getting multiple choice questions, then what happen? There are 3 types of questions I can classify which generally come in JEE Mains. The first one is the objective, where you need to choose the value, right? So for the numerical type questions, you need to have very quick calculation, I would say, right? So there are so many shortcut tricks to do fast calculation. Then second is the conditions where the options are in the form of variables. Variables, sir, what does it mean, sir, when I'm saying the variables? So variable is nothing but the scenario in which you will be getting the options in terms of A, B, C, D or X, Y, Z. So whenever we are getting the answers in variables forms, then we will be utilizing these dimensions. Easily we can get the answer. Even without solving the question, we can get the answer. This is what I teach you in this lecture. So there are so many tricks which are going to be disclosed on this video. So the third one is the dimensions. We will see that what is dimension and how we are going to measure the dimensions. Then there is error. Error is very simple, means you do not need to take any tension about the errors. Errors are, means you cannot deny that errors would not happen while you are solving any questions or when you are measuring anything. But the most important thing is that we can nullify the errors, or we can calculate the errors in physics very easily. There is only one trick which I'll be sharing with you. So this session will be going to be a completely concept packed session, and after that we'll go through the previous year questions from JEE Mains and JEE Advanced, so that you'll feel that yes, whatever you had studied, you are able to apply those things on your question papers, right? So right from the beginning, I'll be teaching you all these things. But before we start, I'll want to introduce myself. My name is Manoj Kumar. I am physics educator on APJ Academy, and on this academy, I'll be teaching more than lakhs of students. And before that, previously I was associated with more than I would be saying 3 renowned institutes, and on those institutes I taught online and offline, and it's almost 8 years of experience what I have. And in these 8 years I saw so many students who cracked the JEE exam, which were very average students, and when they crack, I analyzed what was their potential and how they would be able to crack the exam. And there were so many weak students who cracked the JEE exam. They got into the NITs very well. So there are scenarios where the weak student, the average students also crack this toughest exam. So it's not about whether you are intelligent or not. It's about whether you are guided properly or not. It's not your fault. It's teacher's fault if you are not cracking. And it's your motivation, it's your dedication if you are not able to crack. Okay, I hope that it's all fine. Now we are starting our journey for the measurement. And as you all know, that always I'll start from a very basic thing. Even if you do not know A about the topic, I'll ensure that I'll start from very zero and take you to the Z. And Einstein said that logic can teach you that how to go from A to Z, right? So that is the logic which I'll be teaching you, that how to go from A to Z. But imagination is the most important thing which I want that you must be doing when I'll be explaining the concepts with you. And for the imagination purpose, I am having these animations with us. So imagination is the thing that can take you anywhere within a moment, right? So if you all want just one skill in your life which will turn you into a successful person, or I would say in a billionaire person, the only skill which is the imagination skills. So I hope that you all are ready, and now we will start with the first and foremost thing. Imagine that there was an earth, newly formed earth. There are so many creatures on this earth. What happened after that? There is one living organism who born there on earth, and we called them as Homo sapiens. Obviously there was so much evolution happened, but we are starting our story from the Homo sapiens only. So in those Homo sapiens also there are some few intelligent brains which got their chance, or which got their observations very well, and they get to know about the mysteries of universe, and they I would be saying that they unresolve the mysteries around our world, and they help us to understand the basic concepts in physics. So if we talk about the most intelligent person on this earth, we have the scientists. And scientists basically, when they saw so many things around us, like when they see, when you are in a room, or when I'll say that when you are somewhere, anywhere on this universe, you will be seeing many things in your room, in your vicinity, if you are sitting on a park, or if you are seeing this lecture on some natural places, right? So there are so many things which we can see. Like if I'm seeing the natural things, there could be rivers, there could be mountains, there could be volcanoes, there might be, if you are sitting in a room, there might be some fans, there might be tables, there might be mobile phone, desktop, laptop, iPad. So there are so many things which you might be thinking. But in the initial phase, scientists thought that why we require so many things? What is the best way to unify the thing? And I always say to you that science is the deadly enemy of uniqueness. Nobody wants to study so much things. Nobody wants multiple things. Everybody wants in science that if you know one thing, you will be able to crack all the things. And what is that one thing? The thing is that on this universe, everything is made up of matter. Yes, sir, we already know about that. So what does it mean? Basically, this matter is of different shape, different size, different scenarios, right? So when we talk about that matter is there, there are so many of things, there are different shapes, different size, different scenarios. So there are so many things, there are so many forms which a matter can take, right? There are so many forms which a matter can take. So okay, but how I can identify that this matter is heavy, this matter is not heavy, this matter is big, this matter is not big? There must be some standard criteria. Based on that, I can easily classify that yes, this is tall, this is small, isn't it? Let me share you one story with you, one simple story. There was a time in India when Akbar was ruling. So you might have heard about the stories of Akbar and Birbal, right? So one fine day, Akbar took Birbal for a walk, and they go somewhere. Akbar draw one line, one very big line draw. He draws very big line in front of the Akbar, in front of the Birbal, and he gave Birbal a challenge. He tell Birbal that Birbal, can you Can you shorten this line without touching this, without doing anything to this line? I know that many of you might know the answer. What the Birbal did. What the Birbal did at that time. So Birbal basically do what might be the best scenario. I'll be giving you two answers. Basically, what the Birbal did at that time, he draws one big line. Without touching, without rubbing anything, the line becomes short. So it's about that whether you are increasing your potential or not, the other will himself becomes low as compared to you, isn't it? This is a very big story which is having a very big message behind that. So when Akbar and Birbal was walking, Akbar draw one line and he gave the challenge to the Birbal that can you shorten this line without touching it? Birbal did that just by drawing a very big line in front of that line. What could be the second scenario? What could be the second scenario with which the Birbal can shorten this line without touching? Can you imagine any scenario? Can you imagine? We are not here to remember all the concepts which were taught earlier. We are here to explore the things. We are here to use our brain. I am here to incite. I am here to make a stimulus so that you will be analyzing the questions. So this is very much important when you are cracking the entrance exam. It's not about how much you know, it's about how much you can apply. When you are sitting for an exam like JEE, there are so many intelligent students. There are so many toppers from various schools who will be fighting for those seats, those 10,000 seats in IITs. Can you imagine that? The room is full of toppers and you are there for a war. So competition exam is like a war. So the second scenario is that if he moves away from this line very far, that line becomes short, isn't it? If he moves away from that line and goes very far, that line becomes short, isn't it? Somebody might say that. But can we compare that line with other line? If the line is big, then it will remain big, isn't it? It might be the case that the Birbal would say that if this is big, no matter wherever you go, that remains big. So the best scenario was that only, but this could be the answer if those were the stories. So this is not what we have to learn, but just I want to teach you something regarding the measurement. Like for measurement, we require some reference. Without reference, we can't say that the object is small or object is large. So there should be some references which we require for the measurement, right? So scientists form some measurement criteria through which we can compare the things. Measurement is nothing but a comparison with the standard scenarios. If anybody asks you that what is a measurement, measurement is nothing but just a comparison with the standard things, that how many times that object is with the standard quantity, right? If I am having a 1 kg with me and I want to weight myself, then if I'll weight around 80 kg, then what would happen? That means that I am 80 times more than the standard quantity which I am telling you 1 kg. But what if I want to have my weight using these balls? Can I weight myself using these balls? Isn't it? I can easily do that. How? If I'll stand there and put these balls here, then I can find out that how many balls are required to measure that weight, isn't it? This is so simple that measurement is nothing but a comparison comparison with the standard quantities, right? So measurement is nothing but a comparison. So how many standards do we require if we want to measure all the things, almost everything on this universe which is present, and almost everything which might come? So how many standards do we require? Many scientists come and they want that these might be the standard, these may be a standard, but we finally concluded that only 7 fundamental quantities are required, and from these fundamental quantities we can go to the other quantities as well. So those fundamental quantities which I can say that are the basis for the measurement are, you can easily trace that, MLT, and in between you are having a C. This is so simple. MLT, and in between you are having a C. C is current, not charge. Why current? Because from current you can go easily to the charge and you can go easily to the magnetic field. So we require something in between, right? So here, what does this M signify? This first M is mass. This second L is length. This is time. And in mechanics, basically, we will be dealing with these only: mass, length, and time. The third, this is the first 3 is done. Then we have mole, the amount of substance. So if we want to calculate the amount of substance present in a matter, then we will be dealing with this mole, right? So this is very simple. Means MLT, and in between we are having a C. So this L is luminous intensity. This L is luminous intensity, and this 6th, this is the temperature. Do you know, in school we generally say that if we are talking about matter, then you might have heard that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space, right? Matter is having some properties, like matter must have mass and must have space. One more thing I want to add, that all matter is having a temperature. If we are dealing that in Kelvin, there is no temperature till now has been identified where the temperature is 0 Kelvin. No, there is no matter present in this universe where the temperature is 0 Kelvin. So we can say that matter is having 3 quantities: mass, space, and temperature. Yes, hello Pratik Shukla, good evening. Hello Malini. So I hope that you all are agreeing with that. And the 7th quantity, are we on the same page? The 7th is current. The 7th is current. These are the fundamental quantities which we will be dealing. Okay. And through these 7 fundamental quantities, we will be deriving all other quantities, whatever may come in our process and our way. Are you all ready? Shall we move? Shall we move? Yes, sir. We can move. So this is done, and now it's an end game. Why I am saying end game? Because if you know about the dimensions, you can solve multiple questions on your own. You do not require me there to assist you, because dimensions is the ultimate game through which you can just know whether the equation is right or not. If that is dimensionally wrong, it means that is wrong. But there is caveat. Caveat is, if I am saying that the equation is dimensionally correct, it might happen that the equation is wrong, right? So what is dimensions? In my view, you can see that scientists' view of physical things using the 7 fundamental quantities can be thought of as dimensions. So we are having these things: MLT, and in between we are having C. This is mass, this is length, this is time, this is temperature, this is luminous intensity, this is mole, and this is current. Please remember this thing, that this is current. Why current? Because from there we can go to the charge, from here we can go to the magnetic field, right? So this is very important for you. And now there is one rule. What does it mean? The rule is principle of homogeneity. What does it mean? Homogeneity basically means homo means same, geneity means the source from where it is coming. So if I am saying that there are some quantities which are following these things, so principle of homogeneity say that only those physical quantities can be added or subtracted which have the same dimensions. So what does it mean? I'm not able to understand. I'll make you understand, baby. You do not need to take any tension. Imagine any formula which you might know and which includes some addition and subtraction. Any formula you can say for the physics which includes some addition and subtraction. Do you know that? We have those formula in kinematics. V minus U is equals to AT. V minus U is equals to AT. So sir, here the principle of homogeneity is saying that we can only add and subtract those quantities which is having the same dimensions. So I am having three quantities here, 1, 2 and 3, right? This one is having the dimensions of velocity. Then what is velocity basically? Velocity is nothing but the displacement upon time. Velocity is nothing but the displacement of time, right? And what is displacement? Displacement is nothing but a length. Displacement is nothing but a length. So I can write this as length upon time, and this is my velocity. So why you are writing this as length? Because basically when we are dealing with the dimensions, we are not concerned about the magnitude. Whatever the magnitude they are having, we are not concerned about that. We are mainly concerned about that what we are measuring from those 7 fundamental quantities. So from those fundamental quantities, this displacement is coming into the category of length. So I can classify this as L. Okay, so L by T. So the dimensions of velocity is LT minus 1. So this is the dimensions of velocity. And as you know that this is also a velocity. So these means on the left hand side we do not have any tension, and you can easily see that we are adding the same dimensions. We are subtracting the same dimensions here, right? But sir, what about this? This is 80 and we are comparing this with the velocity. That must be the velocity if we are comparing, right? If we are comparing these V minus U equals to 80, then this 80 must have the dimensions of velocity. So how we can classify or how we can identify that what are the dimensions of 80? It's very simple. Dimensions of time is t, means this is time only, and the dimensions of acceleration means velocity by time, and velocity we have already find out that velocity dimension is LT minus 1 and this is t. So I can write the dimensions of LT minus 2. This is the dimensions of acceleration, and if I'll multiply this 80, then I'll get the dimensions as LT minus 1. So this is the same as dimensions of velocity. Same, isn't it? This is same as the dimensions of velocity. Some of you might be thinking that, oh, sir, what sir, how? This is very difficult, means to get the dimensions of anything. There is some trick. The trick is that you must remember the units here. If you remember the units, you can easily find out the dimensions. How? If I know that the velocity unit is meter per second, right? Velocity unit is meter per second, and meter is in length. Means meter, whose unit is meter? Length, obviously, and time LT minus 1. So I can easily write the velocity's dimension as LT minus 1. And what happen if I am having the acceleration? So acceleration is ms2. It's like a meter per second square. So if I am having the dimension as meter per second square, I can write that dimensions as LT minus 2. So simple if you know the units. So if you know the units, you can easily find out the dimensions, right? So I hope that this is clear to you. there are some questions which we will be solving so that you get a brief idea that how to get the answers. Okay. So here we are with the first question. This question I took from H.C. Verma book, page number 8. You can go and here what we are seeing that the distance covered by a particle in time t is given by. So here we are having an equation with us. You need to find out the dimensions of A, B, C, D. So as we know that we can only add or subtract the quantities having the same dimensions. We can only add or subtract the quantities having the same dimensions. So how many quantities are here? First, after that we are adding, right? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. So as we know that the x is the distance, we already know that the x is the distance. So the dimensions of x is, when x is the distance, then the dimensions of x is L, right? And we are having A's dimension must be length only, because this is alone. So if this is alone, then I can say that the dimensions of x must be equals to the dimensions of A if we are following the principle of homogeneity. Are you all getting? Hey, please be here only. If you really want to crack JEE exam and you want to become the APJ Abdul Kalam, please follow this APJ Academy, right? So next question is we have BT. So this BT must have the dimensions of L. This BT must be having the dimensions of length, right? So this BT must be having the dimensions of L. So when BT is having the dimensions of L and this time is having the dimensions of T, then I can say that this is having the dimensions of L by T, LT minus 1. So B is having the dimensions of LT minus 1. So B is having the dimensions of LT minus 1. Okay. Then we are having this thing CT square. So this is CT square is equals to, then this must be equals to the length, right? Because we are adding length always. So all these must be having the length. So that's why I'm comparing all these quantities with the length only. So this must be having the length dimensions. So if this is having the length dimensions, then what will be the dimensions of C? C must be LT minus of 2. What will be the dimensions of D? You can easily say that the dimensions of T is LT minus 3. This is how you can easily find out the dimensions. And you get to know about the principle of homogeneity, right? So right now we are moving towards the next question. So this is our next question. The question says that the refractive index of something. What is refractive index? Is the refractive index having some dimensions or not? So you might have learned the dimensions in optics, right? So in optics you might have studied the refractive index and you know about the Snell's law. And Snell's law said that refractive index is nothing but a ratio of sin I by sin R, and both these are having no dimensions. So when these are having no dimensions, then you can easily say that this is dimensionless. So if this is dimensionless, then this must be dimensionless. So there is no dimension of A. Are you all getting? So there is no dimension of A, and even the dimension, this must be the dimensionless. So there is no dimension of B lambda square, but the dimension of means there is no dimension, but the dimension of B is lambda square. And lambda, what is lambda? This is very important. Lambda is nothing but a distance between two consecutive crusts, two consecutive troughs. So this is lambda. So this is lambda, and we can say that the dimensions of B is L square. So the dimension of B is L square. So this is very simple question. Aryan Verma, Prateek Shukla, right? So in optics, you have studied that these are the ratios of sin and sin r. The trigonometries do not have any dimensions. So if they do not have any dimensions, then why these quantities will be dimensionless, and all these three quantities will be dimensionless. So we can compare this with the no dimensions. We can easily find out the dimensions of B is equals to L square, and the dimension of A is no dimensions. Right? So whoever marked this correct, they won my lungs. है ना? चलिए. Now we will move towards other question, and now we will see that who will win my kidney, right? You have to win my heart. Now we have this thing, find the dimensions of A by B. Okay, these kinds of questions always comes in your exam. Here you have to find out the ratio of A by B, right? So very simple question. Here P is equals to AX square, AX plus BT square is given, and P is pressure, X is distance, and T is time. So we are ready to solve these questions. So if I'm writing this equation as P is equals to AX plus BT square, then we have to find out the dimensions of pressure, because this will be pressure, and this will be pressure. All these will be having the pressure dimension. So the dimension of pressure is force upon area. Dimension of pressure is force upon area. What does force mean? Force is mass into acceleration. And what does this mean? Area. So I can write down mass means m, right? So this is mlt minus 2, mass into acceleration, and this is area, this is L2. So this pressure will be equals to ml minus 1, t minus 2. So this will be the dimensions of pressure. So this will be the dimensions of pressure. So now I can easily find out the dimensions of A and B. So what will be the dimensions of A? I know that the AX dimension, the dimensions of AX must be equals to ml minus 1 t minus 2. So this must be the dimensions of AX, and X dimension is length. So the dimension of A is ml minus 1 t minus 2 and divided by length. Okay, so that becomes ml minus 2 t minus 2. So this is the dimensions of A. And how I can find out the dimensions of B? How I can find out the dimensions of B? I know that BT square is equals to the dimensions of ml minus 1 t minus 2. And if I'll substitute this t square in the denominator, I'll be getting B is equals to ml minus 1 t minus 4. This is the dimensions of B. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2, and you have to find out the ratio of A by B. So do anything else I need to solve? You can easily find out. So that is A by B. M will cut. Okay, I'll write ml minus 2 t minus 2, m l minus 1 t minus 4. Okay, so the answer will be will cut l minus 1 t2. This is A by B. Okay, so I hope that we all get the correct answer. Are you all ready? And you all are charged up that how we are going to solve these types of questions. These are very simple questions. Just you require is the concentration. And when you are doing the coaching provides you only 4 things. Can you tell me that what are these 4 C's which the coaching is providing you? First one is the confidence. Now we have to test this dimensionally, that whether these equations are correct or not. So here we are having v square is equals to u square plus 2ax, and we have to find out that this is dimensionally correct or not. If you are preparing for JEE, you can easily find out that this and this will be having the same dimensions, right? And if we'll talk about this 2ax, we can easily find out the dimension of the numbers do not have dimensions. Numbers do not have dimensions. Okay. So numbers do not have dimensions. So we have ax. A is acceleration. V square minus u square is equals to 2ax. 2as होता है. So if we have to find out the dimensions of ax, we can easily find out it is lt minus 2 and this is L. So that will be lt minus 2 square. So this is same as lt minus 1 square. So this is correct. This is dimensionally correct. But we can't say that if any equation is dimensionally correct, that it must be correct. But if it is dimensionally wrong, then it must be wrong. This is 100% correct. If it is dimensionally wrong, then it will be wrong, right? Okay, let's move. Now, I always say that winners and losers have same goal. Everybody wants to be in the IIT. Everybody wants the IITian tag. But whether everyone is doing what an IITian is doing right now, will you land up in IIT or not? That totally depends upon what you are doing now, what you are doing right now. And in this competitive world, if you are imagining that you will be able to go into the IIT without coaching, that might be have some issue. Why? Because continuity can be only provided by coaching. Coaching provides you that yes, daily you have to do these kinds of tasks, these things you need to complete. So I prefer you that to get the process, it doesn't matter whether you are buying the paid courses or the free courses you are following, but the continuity is must. First, I told you that the coaching provides you the confidence. The second thing is that it provides you the continuity, right? First one is the confidence, second one is the continuity which the coaching is providing you. And here on APJ Academy, we are providing the free regular classes, free. There is fixed time schedule which you can follow us, which you will get easily if you following us. And there is perfect timetable for you, and you need to subscribe this YouTube channel if you really want to get the free notification. And also I want you to join our Telegram channel. Why? Because here you will be getting the PDF materials, free classes, announcement, discounts and prizes. There are so many things which are happening on our Telegram channel. There are so many facts which we are sharing. There are so many MCQs questions which are happening daily. So you just need to scan this, or if you do not want to scan, just search for ALT JEE. If you are searching it, you will be getting there around 4,000, 5,000 already members are there in our Telegram group, right? Now, we are moving towards the Brahmastra for the errors. So as you all know that the error is the difference between the actual and the measured value. Then how you will be tackling the questions related to the error? There is Brahmastra. What do you mean by the Brahmastra, sir? Brahmastra means the method which you can apply to any questions, and if you are applying those methods, you will be easily able to solve that questions in few minutes, right? So there is Brahmastra that in general, errors always add. Errors always add. There are some exceptions, like in the case of resistance when we are having the quantities in case of fractions, right? So I am writing that in case of fraction, exception, I am writing. So exception in case of fraction. If there are some quantities which are in fraction, then you will be using the differentiation method. Differentiation is also a Brahmastra which I am teaching you, but this is the simple. There are so many techniques which I am sharing with my all of you student here at totally free of cost. So you have to support this YouTube channel, subscribe this YouTube channel so that you won't miss any update, and also you won't miss my classes, and make a scheduled timetable so that you won't miss my classes, right? So I'm telling you that you always need to add the error. What does it mean? I'll show you that I'll show you that through some questions, right? I'll show you that through some questions. So here I took some questions from NEET exam. Okay, so why you are teaching NEET questions? Basically because these are the exams which is having a very low level, and these kinds of questions might come in your JEE mains. So currently we are focusing on the JEE mains, and after that we'll be moving towards the JEE advanced, right? So first step first, this is the kind of attitude you must have. So that's why I took JEE NEET question, right? So here you are having, you need to calculate the percentage error in the measurement of mass and speed. Okay, so the percentage error in mass is given as 2%. Percentage error in velocity is given as 3% respectively. The error in kinetic energy, they want to find out the error in kinetic energy, half mv square. And whenever we are solving the error question, we do not take what numbers, and we have to find out the complete error in the measurement of kinetic energy. This is very simple. You just need to add the errors in percentage and the velocity, the error percentage in mass and velocity. So if I am seeing the power of mass, here, that is only 1. If I am seeing the power of velocity here in the formula of kinetic energy, I am getting 2. So what I need to write here? 2. So it is 2v%. Right? So this is here. Kinetic energy percentage is equals to mass percentage plus 2v%. So if mass percentage is already given to us, that is 2%. And if I'll substitute this here, so I'll be getting 6 plus 2, 8. So 8% is the answer. So you can easily find out that 8% is the answer. This is very simple, right? You just need to know about the formula, and using the formula, even you can do this in your mind. If I'm solving this question in my exam and I know that how to solve this question, that in case of errors, the quantities need to be added only, right? So if I'm solving this in exam, what I'll be doing it at? I know that the kinetic energy formula is half mv square. I'll multiply this by 2, 6, and I'll add this 2 here. I'll easily get 8%. Now move towards this question. This question is very popular, and this is also asked in NEET 2013, and this is also a previous year questions from JEE Mains. This question is also from JEE Mains. So this question is very important. What is written here is, you are having a formula here. You are having a formula of quantity P. You do not know about that what is this P, but you know about that there are 4 quantities A, B and C, D which is required to get this formula, right? To get this value calculated. And the errors are given here, like when we are calculating the A, we are getting 1% error. When we are calculating B, we are getting 2% error. When we are getting C, we are getting 3% error. When we are calculating D, we are getting 4% error. So there are 4 quantities basically when we are dealing with this P. There are 4 quantities when we are dealing this P, when we are calculating P. And to calculate P, we have the formula with us. P is equals to A cube B square CD. So if you want to get the total error in P, very simple. You just need to write 3A, because power is here 3 and A is percentage, which we will be writing from the given data, right? Then 2 here, the B percentage, then C percentage and D percentage. So there are so many things which you have to write. So 3 into 1 plus 2 into 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? So 3, 4, 7 and 7, 7, 14. So total aggregate 14% will be the error. These types of questions also you can do in your mind when you are having your exam, and you do not need more than 30 seconds. Or if you are having a very good calculation, then you might not even require 10 seconds, right? So this is very simple, very easy. Let's move towards the other question. This is also from NEET exam, but this is very beneficial for you. So the question here given that if the error of measurement of radius of a sphere is 2%, if the error in the measurement of radius is 2%, then the error in the determination of the volume of a sphere is, we know that the volume is proportional to the r cube. This is what we already know, right? We do not bother about that what other constants are coming in the formula, but you must know that what is the formula of volume of a sphere, right? Many of you might be knowing. So the volume formula is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So volume is directly proportional to r cube, right? And we know that if we want to find out the error percentage in volume, then we can easily find out by 3r percentage. The power must become downward and we'll be getting 3r, and that will be 3 into 2, that comes out to be 6%. So the error is 6%. This is so easy that you can get this correct. Next question. While solving MCQ, I told you that I'll be sharing so many tricks with you, and there are so many classes which are going to come, and there is a series of classes which I am taking. You can get the complete schedule by subscribing this YouTube channel, right? You can get the complete schedule by subscribing the YouTube channel and hitting the bell icon and joining our Telegram channel. So if you really want to crack the JEE exam, IIT JEE Mains 2022, this time you have to subscribe this YouTube channel, because this is the channel where you are getting the personal attention when we are taking the live classes. So first method which I am telling you, that while solving the MCQs questions, you have to check the dimensions. Why? Because if you check the dimensions, you can easily eliminate the other options. How, sir? How? I'll teach you. When is most important and when will you be using these methods? Here the question is simple, because this is asking about the dimensions only. So we are having V is equals to AT plus B plus T plus C, right? So by seeing this equation, you can easily find out that this T and this C must have the same dimension, isn't it? If these are having same dimensions, then only these can be added to an equation. This is about the principle of homogeneity. You can only add the quantities which are of same dimensions. Then I can easily say that the dimension of C is T, and I can mark this question as, and I can move to the other questions if I'm lacking with the time, right? But even if I'm having an ample of time, but what if I'm having an ample of time? Then I'll be solving that questions. This is very simple. If I'll know that this must have same dimensions, then the velocity dimensions is LT minus of 1, and this is AT, dimensions of T here, then the dimensions of A is LT minus 2. So I can find out. Even if you want to calculate the dimensions of B, you can easily find out the dimensions of B, right? So this is how we are going to solve the questions. Just by knowing the principle of homogeneity, we are able to solve these questions. And now we are having the JEE 2005 questions with us, and which question I'll be sharing one very big trick with you. Because if we saw this question, we will be seeing that here they are asking about the momentum, and this requires the concept of momentum needs to be discussed, right? But if we saw the options here, we will see that these options are in the form of variables, isn't it? That these options are in the form of variables, and if these options are in the form of variables, we can easily find out, we can easily check the dimensions of these variables and we can find out that whether this is correct or not, right? Right. So they are asking about the maximum momentum, means we must know about the momentum. We have to find out the momentum, then the answer must possess the dimension of momentum, right? So momentum is nothing but a product of mass and velocity, and we know that mass dimension is m and velocity dimension is lt minus 1. So this must be the dimensions of the answer. That must be the answer of dimension, and the answer must be carrying mass, length, time, right? So we are having these quantities here, okay, but we are getting that some other quantities as well, like here k is included in the question. So we know that the force exerted by the spring is equals to minus of kx, right? So the dimension of k is F upon x. So the dimension of F is mlt minus 2, mass into acceleration, and the dimension of L is L. So it will be mt minus 2. So now I'm having the dimension of k, I'm having the dimension of momentum, I'm having the dimensions of everything, and I'll be checking this question with the dimensions only. I'll not be doing anything to get this answer. So if I'll go with the B option, if I have to mark the B as an answer, then the dimension of mass is m, right? I'm having L square. The dimensions of k is mt minus 2. So mass will cut, and I get to know that this can't be the answer, right? This can't be the answer because answer must have the dimension of this. So I get to know that B can't be the answer. Okay, that's so easy. If I'll go with the C, then I'll be having this mass. The dimension of k is mt minus 2, and the dimension of L is L. Right? If I'll find out, this will be m lt minus 1. So this is having the dimension of momentum, right? This can be the answer. If I'll calculate the dimension of this, right? So I can easily ignore that. Why I can ignore that? Because in k I know that the value m is coming, and this the mass is in denominator. So if I divide this quantity with the mass will go away, and this can't be the answer, because in our answer mass must be there, right? So mass must be there. So the correct answer is C. So without knowing the exact concept, I can easily find out the dimension using the concept of dimensions. So I can easily find out the answer using the concepts of dimensions. So at last, I want to tell you that we are running a crash course in which you will be getting 90 plus classes. Live interactive sessions are there on a smart board. Syllabus will be completed by JEE experts just like me, and there is one-to-one mentorship which we are providing. No one is providing the one-to-one mentorship, where the mentors are also teaching you one-to-one. The lectures are provided by tutors. So as per your requirement, means if you are weak in kinematics, we will be having more sessions on kinematics. If you are weak in rotational motion, we'll be having some more sessions on rotational motion. So there, one method which we are using while conducting the classes is flipped classroom method. So what is flipped classroom, sir? I'll tell you that in detail. Flipped classroom is nothing but I 100% sure that you might have used this method while you were in your primary sections, primary classes, right? When you whenever you buy some new books, you used to go and flip away the pages and watching their pictures and imagining that what story might be there in those books. So this is the kind of method which we are using. This method is used by European universities, and this is one of the best method, and this is why we are using this method to make you clear the toughest entrance exam of India. And there is doubt solving and practice sessions which we are conducting. So here how our course looks like. First of all, we conduct the theory, then we will provide you the study material so that you can learn and see that which type of questions might be asked in your exam. Third thing is the webinar, which will be conducted just like I am conducting the webinar for you. And the fourth thing is the homework. We are providing you the complete study material. And the fifth one is the homework check. We'll be checking your homework daily, right? So these are the two kinds of subscription which you might subscribe, right? So these are the two types of subscription which you might want to have. So first of all, the Smart and the Profi subscription, right? The only difference between these two is the additional special classes. In the professional, we are providing those special extra classes. Like I already told you that if you are facing the problem in rotational motion, then you will be getting those, right? If you are facing some issues while solving the questions of SHM, you'll be getting this special class for that, right? And the other features will remain same. What are the other features? First of all, we are conducting the live interactive classes, and the interaction is so much because we are new here, right? And we want to produce some fantastic results so that you all got your rank. Next thing is the structured course and PDFs. You are getting the live test, physical notes, one-to-one mentorship. No one is providing you. One-to-one tutorship is also there. Live doubt solving, mock tests. Regularly we are conducting the mock test, and now we have launched the test series so that you will be able to crack your exam, right? The price. So there is very special price which is running for this week. So for this week, this special price is running for the Smart plan. The cost, it cost you around 2,990. So only in 2,000, around 2,000 rupees, you will be getting a complete course with one-to-one mentorship. No one is providing you. No one, and no one can provide you. You just have to scan this to get this course. Scan this. I'm moving away. So there is special plan, special price for this Smart plan. And I told you that there is personal mentoring which no online platform is providing. We will ensure that all our students will get into the IITs. You all require personal customized coaching, right? So student and mentor, we will be taking you for your IIT journey. So personal mentoring, one-to-one, tailor-made requirement, tailor-made courses are there for you as per your requirement. If you face a problem in rotational motion, we will be conducting classes on rotational motion. If you are facing problems in basic mathematics, we'll be conducting classes in basic mathematics. So as per your requirement, we'll be conducting it. Is there anyone who is providing these kinds of courses? Comment below and do let us know that who are providing that. Join now APJ Academy. Remember that name, where we are nurturing the young minds just like you to become doctor and engineers. We have our complete dedicated teachers who will be teaching you, the experts of JEE, right? Nobody can provide you this one-to-one mentorship with the educators like us, right? Any doubts till now? If you want to ask me anything, you can ask, right? So I'm ending this session here only. I want that you must subscribe this YouTube channel so that you won't miss any update. Subscribe this channel and check the description for notification, right? Check the description for the notification. So till then, bye. We will meet again in the future class. Bye bye.